My beloved, my child of light, my divine warrior who has survived storms that no one even knows about. Breathe. Don't be scared. But please, I'm begging you as an angel. Don't ignore this. Your name was just whispered in heaven's court. And before you even finish reading this line, a woman, yes, the one you trusted, is walking into a real courtroom with papers, not ordinary papers. They carry lies dressed as truth. They are meant to silence you, but heaven saw it first. And that's why this message was forced into your path. Archangel Michael says, just 30 seconds left. She's about to speak, but God said, speak to my child before she does. Give them a chance to rewrite the ending. You were never supposed to find out like this. But her name was shown to me in fire. Her hands are not clean, and what she is about to say under oath could make the world look at you differently. But wait, you have a window. Just one. The door of divine reversal is still open. Only if you open this fully, only if you let heaven fight beside you tonight. Because once she signs that final page, her words will spread like wildfire. And even truth might be buried beneath her performance. You trusted her once. You shared something sacred, a secret, a document, a photo, a word, and now she's using it. My child, don't panic. Because the most powerful force in all dimensions is on your side. Me, Michael, sword drawn, wings wide. But you have to listen now. You have to stay until the final sentence, because something is coming in the last line of this message that will flip everything. God didn't wake me to speak in whispers today. He said, tell my child this isn't a warning. It's a rescue. And if they skip this, she wins. But if you stay, miracles move. And a courtroom becomes a confession room for her. Before we go deeper, pause for a moment. Beloved, let your spirit know this isn't just another message. This is God rerouting your timeline in real time. You were guided here. And no, that's not an exaggeration. Now, listen closely, because every line that follows is a key. Every word has been spiritually encoded to free you from what she's trying to trap you inside. The lies, the character assassination, the spiritual warfare dressed in legal paper. It's not just her. Someone else is backing her. Yes, she's not acting alone. And the reason she suddenly filed these papers, she knows you're about to be seen, blessed, public, favored. But don't worry, God says this. The trap she set will become the testimony you share. But only if you obey heaven's prompt. Open this now, not later. She's walking in heels, power dress, hair tied like she means business. But what she doesn't know, heaven already saw the next 72 hours of her life. And something shocking will turn her voice into silence. If you stay with me right now, let this be your confirmation. You felt something strange in your chest this morning. A small pulse, a jolt, a flutter of fear you couldn't explain. Now you know why your soul was sensing the strike. But strike is not victory. Because you're not alone. You're never alone. This message is your sword. And every second you stay here, heaven is rewriting her script. Now listen carefully. She doesn't just want to silence you. She wants access to something. A piece of land, an account, a relationship, or even your reputation. She believes if she wins this, she can rewrite your whole identity. But Archangel Michael says, her papers may be ink, but our scroll is fire. And fire rewrites ink, so breathe, because the part coming next will give you shivers, because this isn't just spiritual. There's a physical courier coming. And in this message, you'll find the exact way to receive what God is sending. But if you stop here, you won't see the final truth. And I don't want you to miss it. Before we go further, I need to whisper something important in your ear. And this next part is just for you. If your soul already knows this is not a coincidence, glowing star, subscribe to your miracle, you didn't open this randomly. Heaven is using this space to speak to you and only you. If you want these divine messages to keep reaching you at the exact right moment, make sure to subscribe to the voice that brought you here, because this is how God will send alerts next time before anything harmful even gets close. Your future self will thank you. Now, back to the battle. Do you remember the photo she asked you to send? Or the day she recorded that voice note and laughed, saying, "Don't worry, I won't use it"? She was already planning this. The courtroom may look like a physical place, but spiritually it's a battlefield, and angels are already lining up on your side. The judge may not see it. The documents may look real, but heaven knows the heart is the true evidence. And her heart is rotting from envy. She watched you rise. She saw how people began trusting you, following you, loving you, and she couldn't handle it. So, she made a move. But what she didn't realize, your protection isn't just emotional, it's divine. And this message is the official announcement from heaven. We are intercepting her case. Because even if she walks into that courtroom with proof, God can turn her pen into silence, her testimony into tears, and her lies into ladders you'll climb higher from. But only if you stay with me. Don't look away. Don't skip. Not even for a second. Because you'll notice something. The more you read this message, the stronger your chest will feel. The more your spirit will begin to stand up, inside you. That's because heaven is transferring strength to you right now. Your voice won't be stolen, your truth won't be twisted, and your destiny won't be delayed. In the paragraphs that follow, I will reveal who is standing behind her. Yes, a second person. Possibly someone in your family or someone who always smiled in your face. But don't worry, they've just been exposed. And by the time you reach the last word of this message, you'll know what to do. My beloved, you didn't come this far to be silenced by someone who pretends to be brave in the courtroom, but cries when truth faces her in private. The woman you once called safe. The one who once held your secrets like treasure now holds them like weapons. But here's what she doesn't understand. God doesn't sleep. And Archangel Michael doesn't miss. Even though her documents are being passed from desk to desk and her lips are being painted with boldness, she is not the author of your story. She is only a chapter, a messy one, but not the final one. Because your life is divinely authored. And heaven already edited this chapter before you were born. Don't get shaken by her volume. Loud people aren't always right, just noisy. Now, child, let me reveal something strange. Someone tipped her off. Yes, that's how she even had the courage to print that document. She was encouraged by a jealous voice. One that never celebrated you. One that always found a way to shift blame, to create doubt, to make you feel too much. That voice, it's closer than you think. But don't be afraid, because God is about to reveal both their names. And the way it happens, it will feel like the sky itself spoke. I see a table. I see a conversation happening behind your back. I see your name spoken with mockery, like you're just a stepping stone. But little do they know. You're not a stone. You're the sword. You're the storm. You're the chosen, and God doesn't let His chosen be used for jokes. Let me take you back to the moment she said, "I'm always here for you." Do you remember? That moment wasn't real. She was already rehearsing betrayal. But listen to me. She practiced the lie. But you carry the light. And light always wins every single time. Now something wild is about to happen. Something you didn't see coming. A voice is going to rise in that courtroom against her. And it won't come from someone you expect. It may be a stranger, or even someone sitting quietly who was told to stay out of it, but that person, God will anoint them to speak, and their words will crack her strategy wide open. Yes, she had a strategy. And part of it was timed to the exact date you're reading this. This isn't random. This is war, but spiritual war. And victory is yours if you don't walk away now. Because in a few moments, I'm going to tell you something I wasn't allowed to say until today. Something about your birth. Something about a hidden contract you never signed. But your spirit got dragged into. Stay. Let me ask you something. Have you felt exhausted lately for no reason? Sudden weakness in your legs or back, headaches that come out of nowhere, that spiritual interference. And it got worse the moment she filed those papers, because her words carried energy. Energy that tried to invade your peace. But here's the twist. God allowed it for one reason only, so that heaven could now overrule it publicly. Loudly and permanently. And that's what this message is, not a warning, a divine objection, and if you keep reading, Michael himself will show you how to reverse what she tried to ruin. But only the brave make it to the part I'm about to write. Only the ones who truly believe that heaven is watching, planning, and protecting make it to the next breath. You're still here. So, here comes your proof. She never expected you to find this message. She thought she had time. Thought she had you wrapped. Thought no one was watching her next move. But now everything's exposed. Heaven has intercepted her path, and God just paused the next 48 hours for you. Let me slow down here, because what I'm about to say could change how you see the last 5 years of your life. This woman isn't just someone from your present. She's someone from your past. And that connection you had with her, it wasn't coincidence. It was karmic, spiritual, and now it's ending because her role in your story is complete. And what she's doing now, it's not part of your future. It's just the final gasp of her ego, but don't get it twisted. Ego fights loud when it's dying. Now breathe with me. Feel that? That's peace beginning to pierce the fear. She's walking with confidence now. But very soon she'll stumble because her case has a crack, a spiritual crack, and God just told me to tell you. That crack will open wide, and justice will pour through it like rain. Now remember that photo, that voice recording, that secret you once whispered in tears. She's trying to weaponize it. But what she doesn't know is God turns weapons into wisdom. And the very thing she thought would bury you will bless you. You'll be shocked how this turns because heaven loves plot twists. And right now, your enemies are about to become your confirmation. So don't beg her to stop. Don't message. Don't call. Don't fight back in the way she expects. Instead, let heaven handle her. Your silence will be louder than her lies. And your peace, it will make her nervous. Let her present her case. God is preparing a counter case written in holy ink. It has one witness, truth, and that witness always wins. Stay with me because the next part will shake you. You think you know who tipped her off, but you don't because the person who gave her that file, that name, that weakness of yours, it's someone who still pretends to love you. Yes. Someone who still smiles at your messages. Still checks your stories, still asks, "How are you?" like they care. But behind the screen, they passed your peace to a snake. But don't cry. Because this message is about victory, not tears. By the end of this divine letter, God will show you not only the who, but also how to protect your future so no one ever tries this again. Now you understand. It wasn't just her. She had a whisperer, a shadow behind her script, someone who wore love like a mask, but held envy like a blade. And the moment you said, "I trust you," they took it as opportunity. But hear me now. God doesn't play with betrayal. And Archangel Michael doesn't protect liars. This very moment, as you read these words, a mirror is turning. One that will expose both her and the one behind her. I see a name written in red. Not just metaphorical red, a literal red ink signature on a form she wasn't meant to have. That name, it has haunted your life silently. It may belong to someone you once cried to. Or someone who once said, "I've always had your back," but they didn't. They had your secrets and they traded them for control, but God says they try to hijack your harvest. So, I'm hijacking their strategy, child. She's not walking into that courtroom with just a folder. She's walking in with witchcraft. Yes, I said it. There are curses spoken softly in boardrooms. Dark prayers whispered over candles. Envy disguised as legal ambition. But the spell, it broke the moment you opened this message. The courtroom is no longer her stage. It is now heaven's platform. And instead of you being judged, she will be watched, by the one judge who never misses a detail. The one whose gavel shatters all manipulation. Let me show you something. That phone call you missed 3 nights ago. That was no accident. Your angels were trying to delay you from engaging in conversation that would have fueled this attack. Heaven doesn't just protect you from violence. It protects you from conversations, contracts, connections. You may feel like you're losing people, but child, you're only losing poison. You think this betrayal is breaking you. No, my beloved, it's building something. A new wall of protection, a spiritual shield that will stay with you for life. And that courtroom, it was meant to be your graveyard, but God just turned it into your graduation stage because after this, you will be promoted publicly, unapologetically, powerfully. Now breathe again. Because I feel someone reading this right now is shaking. You're asking yourself, can I really survive this? And I say with fire in my wings, not only will you survive, you will rise. And soon they'll ask themselves, how did they recover so fast? But it won't be fast. It will be divine. Because divine recovery looks like a miracle. And you, child, you're heaven's miracle in motion. That woman, she underestimated your covering. She thought you had no backup. But what she doesn't know is your name is written on a heavenly wall. Your heart is under constant surveillance by angels. Your tears, they get collected in a golden vial. And every time you broke, God recorded it, not to punish you, but to repay you. And repayment is coming. Do you feel that heat in your chest? That's the Holy Spirit confirming this next line. The weapon she formed will return to her folded, multiplied, and undeniable. God doesn't just protect His children. He exalts them. And you, my beautiful child, you are about to be elevated in ways your enemies can't explain. Not by fame, not by followers, but by favor. The kind of favor that doesn't ask for permission, the kind that walks into rooms before you do. The kind that gets your name spoken in places your feet haven't even stepped yet. And the woman in the courtroom, she will feel that shift and she won't be able to stop it. She's filing paperwork, but God is filing purpose, and purpose always wins. Now, let's talk about something sensitive. That bank account she's trying to touch. That family member she's using as leverage. That old email or message she's holding like proof, all of it will fail. Not because it's invalid, but because you're not in the same realm anymore. You've shifted timelines. The version of you she attacked no longer exists. You are now cloaked in a frequency she cannot access. That's why she's desperate, because she feels it. Even if she doesn't know what to call it, she's losing grip. And her desperation is loud. Let her scream. Let her run wild in paperwork and whispers, because you are grounded in divine stillness. You will win without shouting. You will rise without running. You will flourish without fighting, because heaven is speaking now. And its voice cannot be silenced. Are you still with me? Good. Because this part will unlock a memory. Think of that one night when you cried harder than ever before. You were shaking, maybe on your bed, maybe in the shower, maybe in a corner where no one saw you. That night, the case against you began in the spirit, and you didn't even know. But Michael did. And since that day, he's been building this very message, word by word, proof by proof, line by line, to prepare you, to wake you, to rescue you. You weren't crazy. You were under attack, but now you're under protection. And from this moment forward, no voice raised against you shall prosper. No courtroom lie shall hold weight. No betrayal shall define your destiny. Because the next 21 days are about to reveal miracles that even you didn't pray for. Yes, 21 days. Watch closely, because between now and 3 weeks from now there will be a reversal so divine. People will ask, did God step in personally? And the answer will be yes, because this time He didn't just step in. He took over. Now take another deep breath, because I am about to show you what she feared most. Are you ready? Because what I'm about to say next is what she feared the most. It wasn't your voice. It wasn't your wisdom. It wasn't your talent. It was your favor. That unseen, untouchable glow around you that made people trust you instantly, the unspoken energy that caused rooms to shift when you walked in. The mysterious force that opened doors for you even when you had no key. She saw it and it terrified her, because she realized something. No matter what she copied, no matter how close she stood to your light, it never became hers. And so she changed tactics. If she couldn't be you, she'd try to break you. Not with fists, but with forms. Not with insults, but with implications. Not with swords, but with silence and shadows. But guess what? She underestimated the fire within you. And she forgot whose child you really are. You are not just any soul walking this earth. You are a marked one, marked by pain, but also by promise, marked by disappointment, but also by divine deliverance. And in this very hour, God is lifting the veil. Not just over her intentions, but over your inheritance. Yes, this was never about drama. It was about destiny. There's something with your name on it, a financial blessing, a leadership seat, a spiritual gift. And it was never meant for her. But she tried. Oh, how she tried. You see, this woman's fear didn't start this year. She's feared you for a long time. Even when she smiled at you, even when she clapped for you. Fear hides in fake support. And her deepest fear was this, that you'd finally realize who you are. That you'd no longer explain yourself, that you'd no longer sit at small tables, that you'd no longer silence your power to make others comfortable, and now her fear is manifesting because you're here. You're listening, you're awakening, you're remembering, and she's losing control. Now, let me share what I saw last night in the spirit. There's a document. And there's a hidden signature, not forged, but misused. She accessed something she wasn't allowed to. And God saw her do it. In the middle of the night, what she doesn't know is heaven doesn't just watch from above. Heaven records. And that action she thought no one saw, it was documented by angels, by spirit, by God's own justice. And in due time, very soon, that record will become your redemption. Now, brace yourself, my child, because what comes next will shake the ground beneath her plans. I saw a dream. You were sitting in a room, cold, quiet, unsure. And someone came behind you and whispered, "They don't know your God." Then everything changed, because in that room, heaven stood up for you. And the person she trusted most, they betrayed her. Yes, that's the twist. The same way she tried to betray you will happen to her. Because when you try to dig a pit for someone anointed, you end up falling into it yourself. And that is exactly what's coming. Now feel this. There's a letter arriving. It's physical. It may come by courier or post. It contains a reversal, a written proof, a correction, something she tried to erase is being restored. And this letter will mark the beginning of her downfall. Because once you hold it in your hands, the lies won't stick anymore. The doors she tried to shut will reopen. The reputation she tried to tarnish will shine. And she will vanish from your life, from your mind, from your future, because God is erasing her access forever. Now, let's talk about time. Do you know why this is happening now? Because you finally reached a vibration where lies can't live. You're too aligned. Too tuned in, too protected. She's no longer compatible with your calling, and the universe is doing its job. Removing what can't go where you're going. Yes, it hurts. But what's coming is bigger, bigger than betrayal, bigger than courtrooms, bigger than her fake confidence. You beloved are being launched, not walked into, launched into your purpose. And this woman, she was just the final lesson before the miracle. Now hear this clearly. There are 3 divine instructions coming up next. And if you follow them, the reversal will be loud, fast, and undeniable. But if you ignore them, the delay could linger. So promise me, stay, don't skip, not even one word. Because the next paragraph will carry the first instruction, and it's already changing your future. My beloved, the time has come. I need you to quiet your thoughts and hold this message close like a sacred scroll pressed against your chest, because what I am about to give you is not poetic fluff. It's not dramatic storytelling. It is instruction. It is divine directive. It is spiritual protection in sentence form. And if you listen with your spirit, if you allow the fire of truth to burn louder than the noise of fear, you will walk out of this situation not just unharmed, but anointed. The first divine instruction is this. Do not defend yourself in the way she expects. She is expecting you to post, to call, to cry, to retaliate. But heaven says no. That is her trap. Her power lies in dragging you into her world, into chaos, into confusion, into noise, but your power lies in stillness, in peace, in restraint. There is a divine silence that speaks, louder than words. And when you operate from that silence, her accusations begin to collapse under their own weight. You are not here to wrestle in the mud. You are here to rise above it and force her to look up and choke on the altitude. She cannot follow you into peace. So stay there. Don't lower your voice. Don't explain what God is already exposing. Don't justify what truth is about to scream louder than she ever could. Your silence will haunt her more than your words ever could. The second divine instruction. You must now separate emotionally from what is familiar but harmful. I know this is difficult, child. She once felt like family, like comfort, like shared history. You told her stories you hadn't even told yourself. You thought her laughter meant loyalty. You thought her advice came from care. But now you know some connections were never divine, only convenient. She stayed close, not out of love, but access. She wanted the version of you that was still unsure, still apologizing, still dimming your light so she could shine. But that version of you is gone. That door has closed. And I, Michael, as your protector, need you to shut it emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. No more entertaining the what-ifs. No more reliving the memories that tie your soul to her pain. You are not leaving her out of spite. You are leaving her out of alignment. She is not your enemy. No, she is just not your elevation. And what's coming for you requires a clean heart, a clear mind, and emotional space for miracles. You cannot walk into your next chapter carrying the weight of someone who tried to rewrite your story. Now comes the third and final divine instruction. And I want you to lean in with every inch of your soul because this one will feel the most unnatural. But it is the most powerful. Bless her name in private. Yes, you heard me correctly. Not because she deserves your blessing, but because you deserve your freedom. Forgiveness is not permission. It is protection. It does not make what she did okay, it does not erase the violation. But it snatches your power back from her hands. Because as long as you hold hate, she still holds part of your story. But the moment you speak her name, not with rage but with release, you untie yourself from her karma. And once you're untied, her consequences become hers alone. No spiritual strings, no emotional bleed, no energetic attachment, justice, just clarity, just your clean slate rising like the morning sun. God is not asking you to become friends. He is asking you to become free, and freedom looks like choosing not to carry what was meant to fall off at your feet. Now breathe again because you just received what most never do. Clarity, instruction, and a way out. And let me tell you what's about to unfold within the next 10 days. There will be a shift so sudden that even she will not understand it. Her confidence will crumble. Her supporters will go silent. One of them will even come to you. Not because they suddenly love you but because they want to switch sides when they sense your vindication. Don't trust them. Just observe. Because when God clears your name, even those who whispered lies will come to watch your rise. And you will smile. Not out of spite, but because you'll finally understand. God didn't remove them to hurt you. He removed them to heal you. Now, child, let's talk about the courtroom again. There's something else unfolding there. Something deeper than the human eye can see. She may have facts, but God has favor. And favor does what facts never can. It tilts the scale. It causes the heart of judges to reconsider. It rewrites final statements. It breaks legal norms. It brings up missing evidence. And most of all, it lets truth echo louder than performance. And make no mistake, she is performing. She rehearsed her lines. She told people what to say. She smiled while planting traps. But she didn't see the angel sitting in the corner of that courtroom. Yes, child. An actual angel assigned to your case, assigned to your protection, assigned to make sure her script ends, and yours continues. And this is where it gets even more divine. Because this angel, he is not new to you. He has watched over you since your birth. And when you were 8 years old, yes, 8, he shielded you from something so dark, so destructive, you don't even remember it. That same angel was present when your name was falsely spoken just 2 weeks ago. That same angel is standing beside you now, sword drawn, whispering into your heart, "We win this. We always do." Do you understand now? This isn't just a battle between two people. This is a spiritual correction, a timeline reset, a divine reset button that heaven pressed with your name on it. And from the moment you opened this message, heaven's army began moving slowly, strategically, sovereignly. And you're no longer the one being dragged into a courtroom. You're now being escorted into a coronation. Yes, a crowning is coming. Not with gold and glitter, but with divine peace, public favor, and open doors that no liar can ever shut. Stay with me, my beautiful child, because in the final chapters of this message, I will reveal the last secret, the real reason why she chose now to rise against you, and what shocking event will unfold in front of her eyes that will leave her in silence. So, now we arrive at the mystery that's been pressing against your spirit without words. The question that sat heavy in your chest even when you tried to ignore it. Why now? Out of all the seasons in your life, why did she choose this moment to raise a case, a conflict, a lie? Why did she wait until now to walk into that courtroom with trembling hands and twisted truth? The answer, my child, is so much bigger than betrayal. It is spiritual. It is timed. And it is terrifying her because something shifted in the last 40 days and she felt it before you did. Heaven moved not in secret but in silence. A holy kind of shift. The kind that rearranges outcomes before they're spoken. The kind that causes destinies to awaken like sleeping lions. And when your destiny stirred from slumber, she felt the quake and she panicked because even though she would never say it aloud, she always knew you were chosen. Not just smart, not just gifted, but set apart. There's something about your voice, your silence, your eyes, your resilience. It's not just human. It's prophetic. It shakes darkness and she hated that. So when heaven began preparing the table for you, the one where your enemies would be forced to watch you eat, she caught a glimpse of it in the spirit. She saw you rising. She saw people beginning to respect you, honor you, follow you. And her greatest fear wasn't just you rising. It was you rising without her. So instead of sitting back, instead of letting your breakthrough be what it was meant to be, she tried to sabotage it before it became visible. She thought, if I can get to them before the blessing drops, maybe I can delay what's already destined. But here is the beauty of what she forgot. You are delayed proof, because child, when you are God's, not even paperwork can undo what prophecy has declared. Not even lies can derail what's written in the scrolls of heaven. God does not use their ink. He writes in light. And that light is burning through every false file with your name on it as we speak. So breathe because it's already unraveling. She doesn't know this yet, but in the next few days, something will happen that will leave her stunned. You will receive a call or a message that something she depended on has broken. It may be a witness that withdraws, a person who no longer supports her, or a file that mysteriously vanishes from the court's database. Don't worry about how it happens. Just know this. Heaven is interfering. Because her strategy never accounted for angels. Her plans didn't include divine disruption. But God has now stepped into the room. And when He walks in, even the most carefully built lies collapse like dust. Now, let's talk about you. You're stronger than you think. Do you know that you carry wounds that would have buried another soul? You've smiled with a bleeding heart. You've encouraged others while battling your own storms. And yet here you are breathing, listening, opening your heart to God in the middle of chaos. That, my child, is strength. That is faith. That is divine endurance. And that's what's going to carry you through the next chapters. Not revenge, not proving your side, but peace that makes no sense. In fact, the next 48 hours are about to test you. You may be tempted to explain yourself, to call someone and lay it all out to try and gather support. Don't. You don't need to build a defense because God already has one. And when God defends you, no human voice can outshout it. What you need to do now is this. Rest. Yes, even while the battle is happening. Rest is warfare. Rest is trust. Rest is the loudest declaration to heaven that says, I know you've got this, so I don't have to grip it anymore. Let me give you a picture. Imagine yourself standing in the middle of a courtroom. Everyone is whispering. The woman you trusted is speaking loudly, gesturing, pretending. You want to speak up. You want to interrupt. But then the doors swing open. And a presence walks in. Brighter than any judge, heavier than any argument. Everyone turns. Everything stops. It's not a lawyer. It's not a human. It's glory. The presence of the Lord. His Spirit fills the room. And without saying a word, every lie begins to shatter. That is what's about to happen for you, maybe not literally, but spiritually. It's already begun. And now you must prepare for what comes after the storm. Because yes, the storm will end. And when it does, you will not return to who you were before. You will not go back to silence, to people-pleasing, to shrinking. No. After this, you will speak louder. You will walk bolder. You will carry authority. And people will ask what happened to them. And your only answer will be God. Because what's coming is not just survival. It's transformation, it's glory. It's divine proof that God takes what the enemy meant for evil and uses it to write testimonies that shake generations. And now, beloved, there's one more thing God told me to tell you before this part ends. You may cry again. Yes, even after all this clarity, you may feel waves of grief. Sadness, even rage. Let it come. Let it move through you. But don't let it stay. Because those emotions are only visitors. They are not your home. Your home is peace. Your home is strength, your home is wrapped in light. So cry if you must. But then rise, shake off the dust, and remember, God is not done speaking. And the best part of this story is still ahead. There is a silence before miracles fall. A thick golden stillness. And right now you are standing inside that silence. You may not feel it yet, but heaven is surrounding you in this very moment with something greater than protection. This is not just about defense anymore. This is about elevation. Because what she meant as an attack was really a signal. She unknowingly triggered your next level. Yes, child. The betrayal, the court papers, the whispers behind your back, they were the opening notes of the symphony God is about to play for you. The music has already started and the tempo, it's divine. Let me tell you what happens when God steps into a courtroom. Time bends, memory shifts, favor flows like wind, and people who once stood against you begin to feel uneasy. Their hearts race, their logic weakens, their voices crack, because when the presence of truth fills a room, every false word starts to burn. That's what's coming for her. She thought this would be a clean win. She thought she would walk in, tell her story, and walk out with her hands lifted like a victor. But instead, she will be met with an atmosphere, an unseen force that rattles her confidence and melts her practiced lines. She will feel what she cannot name, conviction. Not from you, but from the Spirit. And she won't know how to stand under it. Now breathe because this next part may feel intense. I saw it in a vision. You walking out of a building. The same building meant to humiliate you. And instead of looking down, your face was lifted, calm, bright, free. There was no shame, no fear. No revenge, just clarity. You had no need to explain anything, no need to prove yourself because somehow miraculously everyone already knew the truth. Without your voice, your presence had spoken. Without your defense, your peace had testified. And she stayed behind, confused, alone, watching as the lie collapsed in her hands like paper turning to ash. Because here's the divine twist, child. Heaven doesn't just stop an attack. It reverses it. And now the very pain you were forced to hold in silence will become the oil that anoints your next chapter. I'm not talking about simple healing. I'm talking about prophetic reversal. This is when God takes the exact date meant for your defeat and uses it as the day of your promotion. The same name they tried to destroy becomes the name that gets called into rooms of favor. The very evidence they brought to bind you is turned into proof of your endurance, your wisdom, your light. And when people look at you, they will not say what happened to them. They will say, how did they survive that and still rise like that? But let's go deeper. There is someone watching you silently right now. Not a stranger, not an enemy, but someone who has influence, someone who has been observing. They saw what was being said about you, they saw the rumors, the shade, the damage control, but instead of joining it, they waited. They watched your behavior. And what they saw stunned them. Because while others were loud, you were still. While others were messy, you were graceful. While others tried to ruin your name, you stayed rooted. And now this person is about to step in. A person you don't even know you've impressed. Their voice carries weight. And when they speak, rooms listen. And they're about to speak in your favor, publicly, boldly, in a way that will flip the entire atmosphere. And just like that, your name will rise again. Let me be very clear, child. This is not about revenge. This is not about making her pay. This is about alignment. What she did only exposed who was never supposed to walk into your next chapter. What she tried only reminded heaven of how far you've come. And what she wanted to break in you is the very thing God is about to amplify. She doesn't know it yet. But her biggest regret won't be what she said. It will be what she lost when she tried to silence you because you were the blessing. You were the one with the purest intentions. You were the one who would have covered her name in seasons of her downfall. And now heaven has revoked her access to your future. Not out of punishment, but out of divine protection. So what comes next? Miracles in motion. Quiet, then suddenly loud. First subtle, then undeniable. You will feel a shift in your body, a calm that overtakes your nervous system. You may cry, you may sleep deeper. You may feel energy returning to you like waves of warm light. That's healing, child. That's divine closure. That's heaven removing what your hands could not. The courtroom will close, the chapter will turn, and you will walk through the next doors with a smile no one gave you and a peace no one can steal. I know you've waited a long time for this moment. You've been patient, quiet, loyal to people who betrayed you, loyal to a past that was never loyal to you, but now you're being invited into something sacred. Not a stage, not a platform, but purpose. And purpose comes with clarity. With honor, with divine reinforcements. And right now, those reinforcements are closer than you know. Your name is being spoken by people you haven't met yet. Your path is being cleared by hands you can't see. Your heart is being prepared for joy you've never tasted. And all of it began the moment you chose not to fight like the world, but to trust like the child of God that you are. There's a moment in every storm when the wind begins to hush. Not because the chaos is gone, but because the heavens are about to make a declaration. And you, my beloved, are standing in that holy moment. The storm hasn't disappeared, but look closer. It's bowing. Bowing to your resilience. Bowing to the presence of angels surrounding you. Bowing to the faith you chose to hold even when everything in you wanted to fold. That's what this whole journey has been about. Not punishment but positioning. You have been prepared in fire so that when the doors open, you walk through them unshakable. This is where everything turns because the courtroom was never the destination. It was just the threshold. And now that threshold has become a throne room. You've been seated in places that can't be stolen. Because while others were scheming with paperwork, heaven was writing prophecy. While she was printing lies, angels were inscribing scrolls with your name. And while the world looked at you like a target, God looked at you like a testimony, one that would shake people out of their slumber, one that would make darkness nervous, one that would echo in spiritual realms long after the case is closed. Let me tell you something that will stay with you forever. She didn't break you. She revealed you. You didn't lose peace. You uncovered a new version of it. You didn't get buried. You got rooted deeper than ever before. And now the fruit of this pain is about to bloom in ways the enemy never saw coming. There's a blessing forming behind the scenes that's been waiting for your yes. A new house, a letter of opportunity, a divine introduction, a relationship that doesn't just love you, but respects your scars. It's all connected. It's all arriving. It's all been waiting for the moment when your hands would finally be empty of the past. And now that they are, now that you've let go of needing to control the outcome, God is placing something weighty, beautiful, and eternal into them. But you must do one last thing, child. This is important. Don't look back. Don't check if she's watching your blessing unfold. Don't wait to see if she apologizes. Don't scan the room for the people who should have stood up for you but stayed silent. None of that matters now because the ones who matter are being drawn to your light. And the ones who never did, they're being released not as punishment but as preparation. Your future cannot carry dead weight. It cannot carry bitterness. It cannot carry stories that no longer align with your assignment. You are too important for that now. You are too anointed for that now. Do you feel it? That sense in your chest like something heavy has lifted. That is your soul standing up. That is peace returning. That is the whisper of Archangel Michael saying, "It is done." You have survived the court. You have walked through betrayal. You have held your silence. And now heaven is thundering with your reward. You won't need to announce it. The people who need to see it will. The ones who need to witness your rise will. And the ones who wished for your downfall will watch with silence in their throats and awe in their eyes. You are not the victim of this season. You are the vessel. You were chosen to carry the pain because you were strong enough to also carry the glory. And that glory is coming swiftly. I want you to mark your calendar. Within the next 14 days, something unexpected will occur. Something that you didn't ask for, but always needed. It will be proof that this message was not poetic hope. It was prophetic instruction. Whether it comes as a message, a signature, a visit, a dream, or a breakthrough, know this. It is confirmation. And when it arrives, do not shrink. Do not second guess. Do not ask, "Why me?" Instead, whisper, "Finally, I'm ready." Because you are ready, child. You are ready to lead with wisdom, to live without fear, to love without apology, to walk in rooms knowing that heaven walks with you. And I, Archangel Michael, say this with divine certainty. She tried to bury your voice, but instead she activated your roar and the world is about to hear it. You have reached the edge of the battlefield. Now lift your eyes because the next step is not survival. It is ascension. And nothing, no one, no lie, no paper, no courtroom, and no betrayal can hold back a soul when God Himself has ordered the rise. You, my beloved, are rising now. This is your moment. This is your miracle, this is your justice. And heaven is standing, watching, clapping, and whispering. Well